only a couple of things kind of overwhelm me at times. That's it's something that I'm not sure how to address, but it's basically the what we call machismo in Spanish, right? The fact that a guy wants to be red pilled and oh man and treat women like shit and that apparently makes you a man, right? And then the other thing is that women aren't much better in that sense, because there are also neo-feminists who basically just take feminism and turn it into machismo again, misogyny, and but flip it over, right? And they hate men and they want ill things for men, but that's the same thing. It's just an excuse for ego, unchecked ego to do whatever the fuck they want and try to force things onto others, right? It's the same kind of deal. Not caring about others' experiences, it's just their wants, their needs, and whatever the fuck they intend to do to garner more and more either attention or money or power or influence or whatever the fuck kind of game they say they enjoy from time to time. We're not worried about the survival of the species. We just want to keep on fighting over stupid shit and being divisive and listen to idiots claim they are successful and that they are leaders and that they are the answer to everything. That's why they don't pay taxes. That's why they don't do their jobs, and that's why they don't do their actual purpose, because they're not themselves. They're empty vessels that are fearful and lacking love, and they're always the same thing. They try to gain the attention and love of people who also suck, like their parents, who probably didn't even want to have them, and that's the main source for hurt. And that's why I think that what they will say or living under others' expectations is part of the greater problem that we have, because elites and high, quote-unquote, high society classes are basically dependent on that to survive. They don't do anything if it's not for attention, if it's not to gain likes or to be able to say that they do things and have things. They don't have a personality. Their whole personality is that. Being presumptuous, being obnoxious and annoying with their, oh, I have this, oh, this makes me powerful, oh, I can do this and this because I know people. And it's the same problem every time. And it's not only in high class societies, it's also in poverty and in lower classes, quote unquote lower classes, right? It's always the same person, the same kind of personality. They're not enough. It's never enough. Their own self, their own worth, it's never enough. They need to attach things that don't matter, that attach material things that they will take nowhere but their big houses and big empty and soulless houses. And they claim to be happy, but I don't know, man, it's impossible for me to think that someone who knows what love is actually does the kind of thing that those people do. And again, it's in all sorts of walks of life. It's greed, it's trying to be something they're not, just to comply with others people's expectations and to try to satisfy them in the best way possible. And it's fucking sad, because they're changing their experience for things that you can either way obtain if you're just patient enough. I mean, we're giving money a sense of purpose when it's only a matter of exchanging goods and services. That's it. That's what it was invented for. We gave it value because they're greedy fuckers who always want more for themselves. So they wanted to have some kind of way to deliver that kind of status to their experiences. But what kind of experience is worth living if it's only focused on money? That's not experience at all. You're just another fucking robot damaging other people's experiences, damaging your own experience, and being greedy and shitty to other people just because you can get more money next year. It's fucking idiotic that you think that that's satisfying in any way. It's obvious that it's not, because that's why you act the way you act. That's why you do the things you do, and that's why you exploit like you exploit, and that's why you fight how you fight. It's always the same thing. There's nothing surprising about violent idiots trying to take over things and try to exploit people. That's what they do because they don't know anything else. They do it with knowledge also. They've done it with knowledge for the longest. Whenever some Chinese or Middle Eastern person discovered something or invented something, they always change the name to grammar or to calculus or to things like that, but they don't actually name the person who actually did that thing. And when it's a white guy stealing from another people's knowledge and other people's abilities and imaginations, then they put their name on it, like Edison did. That fucking idiot. I'm sorry, I don't name egos, but in this case, I think it's important because he's a fucking idiot. He stole from everybody and everything. He hadn't any friends. He hadn't any family that trusted him. Surely, because those kind of circles, there's not much love and trust and respect. Actual respect, not fear, but respect. There's not much of that. All the positive things go away because you involve money in your work. So your only worth is the influence and the power and the control that you invent as well. Because we, unfortunately, go with the flow. We work for you. We do your bidding. You don't go out and do the shitty things that you do to people. You ask other minions and other bootlickers and other soulless creeps trying to be you. And you attack them with those kind of negative things, and then they become empty like you as well. Because that's the way it's supposed to be, apparently, for the biggest fucking brain that's ever existed. I agree that we do have the biggest brain that has ever existed, but we have the least civilized of the societies because we have all this technology, all these communication avenues, and all these imaginations and inventions, and we drown them for the purpose of profit. We don't want to progress. We don't want to survive as a species. We don't want to find out how we can get out of this rock before it actually either is crashed or crashed into by another huge thing or is swallowed by the sun or whatever. I mean, we have a long time before that happens, but the question is, do we want to survive? Do we want to live beyond those 65 million years that the dinosaurs existed for? Or do we want to give out at less than a million years and just destroy ourselves before that even happens? It's barely a third of that, of the time that we've been on this earth, and it's incredible how wasteful we've been with our time, with our possibilities of actually surviving a big volcano or a comet or a solar flare or any other thing, just because we want to keep on playing those fucking stupid, idiotic, loveless, soulless games of trying to profit out of one another and try to have secrets so that we can profit out of one another, so we can exploit people who are better at processing the sun due to their melanin. Those are the same fucking people that think that they are better, that they are chosen because their skin is pale, because their ancestors 60 million years ago went to where there were a lot of clouds, so they didn't get sun and the skin adapted. That's what you call yourself, a race, a pure race. That's what makes you pure. Thinking that you're a racist or thinking in race in those kind of terms, that you are better than some other people who are darker, who have darker skin than you, that makes you an idiot, because a lot more dark skinned people have invented ways to better our societies than you have. You've stolen those ideas. You've actually garnered them to be able to exploit people and to be able to do the things that you do with products, which is to make them as useless as possible, or useful long enough so that we don't suspect that you're doing this. But then you notice the patterns. You notice newer devices getting broken down easier, needing more updates, needing constant, and we've already seen it with this fucking company that owns almost half of the world, and they keep on bringing products every year, and we keep on buying them, and that's the problem. Their greed is so fucking successful with manipulating our minds that they are able to sell us almost every year a new fucking device with the exact same fucking features, the exact same abilities, and even lesser abilities than other phones. And they keep on jacking the price up, and they keep on charging us for their idiocy, for their need to be advertising all the time, because that's how they get us. They make us believe that their product is better so that we can keep on consuming their shitty products. That's what they do. And that's the kind of revolution that I think that could happen. Not the one that we are violent with or that we go against it, but the one that allows us to understand that we are one. We are not different than darker skinned people or whiter skinned people. It's dumb to think that it's somehow related to race. We only adapted our skin as humans so that we're able to withstand the sun, so that we were able to withstand a cloudy environment, and so that we were able to see where there was a lot of snow, and that we were able to see where there was a lot of sand. So it made our features adapt to those kind of conditions so that we were able to live as humans in whatever fucking climate we decided to live in. That makes us racist? Those are not racist. That's adaptations of the same fucking body, because I promise you that there's no race. There's no good enough difference in our genetic makeup to understand ourselves as something different than each other. It's dumb to think that is the case, that enough to call us racist or to distinct us as racist. It's dumb. It's adaptations. And that somehow is a pretext for some idiots to think that they're better than somebody else just because their skin doesn't process the sun the same way that a darker skinned person does. And that's what allows them to act like fucking idiots and fucking violent thugs and gain power, first of all, through lies, through making ourselves think that they are actual leaders, that they are successful because they wear suits. And what do they do with that power? They accumulate, they get more and more and more, no matter how much they have to steal from the rest of us, no matter how shitty they can make the infrastructure, no matter how much violence they provoke with their greed, people losing their jobs because of their policies, people not being able to afford groceries because of their fucking warmongering, and also the same fucking policies. It's insane that we keep on letting those people think that they are actually successful. They're mentally ill. What do we call the people who hoard a lot of pee in jars or poo in jars, or that hoard a lot of newspapers? How do we call those people? We call them mentally ill. They need help. That's why this motherfucking, the small excuses for men that we call billionaires and now trillionaires, they're dumb. They're just people who want more for themselves, and doesn't matter who else's experiences they affect negatively. It doesn't matter how many of those lives they waste and they end because of their greed. The only thing that matters is that they get what they want, that they get to that profit margin, that they get to have a bigger dick than the other guy that's also actually trying to accumulate a lot of things without purpose. It's fucking idiotic that we keep on letting those things think that they are human. First of all, that they are complete humans, because they're not. They're soulless, empty, fearful, unloving, and unloved vessels that could actually have love in them, but they choose to pursue greed instead, thinking that somehow makes them some kind of intelligent or some kind of smart. Wasting your life pursuing money is the stupidest thing that I can actually. Sorry, some people will be offended by this, but it's not the point. It's to understand that it's dumb to think that that's going to bring you happiness at any point. Yeah, it's going to bring you fun moments and you allowing yourself to be wasteful and to be an asshole like the ones that are right now there are. But that in the end, it doesn't matter, because tell me how many of them actually know love. How many of them have enjoyed a sincere hug or a sincere admiration from somebody that loves them? If they even have somebody that loves them. It's hard to love somebody who's such a dick, but we tolerate them because they're the ones with the power, with the money. we can't defend that anymore. We are the biggest brain that has ever existed, and we have the capability of actually becoming that civilization that we are so intent on calling ourselves that we are, or thinking ourselves within ourselves that we are, because we're not. We're not a civilization. Not when there's concepts like poverty and spying and lying and cheating and exploiting and being violent at all. Not when there's concepts like profit over humanity, over not being hungry, over not having to sleep outside or outdoors. We're not a civilization unless we take care of that first. Otherwise, we're just the same fucking monkeys that we say we're not. We're the same chimpanzees. Even chimpanzees, there's a documentary on Netflix right now that somehow depicts the life of a group who divides in two, and one keeps on doing their thing as they've always done, which is by making sure that there's a leader and that he calls all the shots. And then the other group who actually became more equalitarian or more concerned with everybody pitching in the same matter. They all have the same capabilities. Some of them will have different capabilities, so we put them in. I mean, we can think about that kind of concept in our more bigger brain, right? We can stop depending on wars. We can stop depending on fucking things like fucking profit over things like hunger. We can stop depending on calling other people lesser than us just because they are able to better process the sun's rays. It's insane that we think that's some kind of truth. And the same people who think this are usually the same people who throw the book at you, their magic, sacred books at you, and say, this is the truth. Yeah, that I agree with you. The whole truth is in all of those books, not just in yours. Every single fucking book from every single religion has the truth in it. Love yourself, love others, progress as a society. What do we do with those books? This is the truth, that's the truth, that's the truth. So we become fighters of the same truth, but for our own egotistical purposes, and that's dumb because we all have the answer right there. We just need to stop defending what ego actually made it through those books of the people who actually wrote them. That's where we find the negative stuff. That's where we find the jealousy, the how to treat your slave, and how to make your wife a 12-year-old if you just give their parents a goat. There's none of that. When logic and when thought is actually applied to those actual books, it's not about interpretation. It's about reading the fucking message. It's right there. Love yourself and you'll fucking be golden, because then you'll know how to love others. And then you'll know how to recognize love and accept love from others. That's what those books are supposed to be about. Not about control, not about division, not about teams, not about this is my God, this is the only God. That's everybody can believe in whatever the fuck they want. It's the reason for freedom. Anybody can believe whatever they want. And again, you all have the truth in your books. We're just applying the fucking books in shitty ways that are only based on ego and not on actual love. Because we keep on fighting over idiocy. We keep on letting idiots manage our resources and manage our decisions, and then we become enemies of other people who we are affecting. The most quote-unquote powerful nation in the world is the one that caused all the issues, all the terrorism. It's retaliation for what they did. It sounds harsh and it sounds awful, and it's not liked, and it brings something inside you, and how can it be that the most power? It's my country, but come on. You can read a book. There's history there. It's invasion or exploitation or waging war to replace a leader that was actually good for the people, and it's all those things that actually managed to cause a lot of pain to a lot of people, and they call themselves the greatest country ever. It's provable that it's not, at least not with that attitude, because a good leader understands that it's not him who makes himself the best, it's those who work for him. That's what makes him a good leader. And the United States hasn't been a good leader in the longest. I mean, there's no reason for them to be how they are and trying to invade other countries, instead of actually working towards having to stop depending on idiotic ideas from people who are only purpose or whose only purpose being greed makes them hurt a lot of other people. And they hurt themselves because, again, they're empty vessels. They don't know what the fuck they want out of life, and they're scared that the one they will die because they know they don't know love. They know that they haven't experienced love, so they think that life is shitty and that life isn't worth it, and that's why they become those kind of people. And they make other people suffer. And some of those people even end up not liking their life enough to actually end it. And it's fucking horrible to think that those people can actually resolve things with a snap of the finger. Forget about that. Forget about making people miserable. Pay them good wages while we find a way to stop depending on money. And then we'll start living life taking advantage of technology, taking advantage of our abilities, of everybody's abilities, not just the ones that are not lost in poverty and devaluations and corruption. It's in bureaucracy, because even that is something that takes away from you. You decide for a job that's not for you just because it has good benefits. So you end up spending your whole life investing time and not gaining knowledge and not gaining experience on other things that you may actually love to do. And you become this empty vessel again, just following orders and just going to work from 9 to 5 and getting the fuck out of there as soon as possible, and not actually enjoying your day of work, actually dreading the Monday that comes after Friday. I mean, because we all love the weekends, right? But come that Sunday evening, you start feeling that feeling of shit. And I'm thankful that it's been a while now that I don't have that feeling anymore. I love my job, and I love what I do, and I love what I was able to do with my limited abilities. And that's the point. We can take advantage of every single ability, and not just for themselves, so that they can become better people and actually contribute that love to society. But we're wasting it all in soulless endeavors that a machine could be doing. We don't even have to have a president anymore. It's too much power for a single fucking idiot to be able to accidentally get to that position and start fucking it up for everybody else, like Orange Nero is doing right now. Orange Nero, it's the same thing. It's that guy. I don't care. I'm playing my lyre and watching everything burn. That's why I admire Diogenes so much. His attitude towards him being called a dog is one of the, or calling himself a dog is one of the greatest things that have ever happened to my life, because I understood that in order to stop sucking dick, I would have to start learning how to eat lentils or eat just whatever porridge there could be. Something that other people might find unflavorful. I'm happy eating that as long as I don't have to suck anybody's dick or anybody's toes to be able to get ahead and find some kind of solace and financial security. Because to those people, life is not about experiencing it. It's about likes. It's about having enough. It's about being able to show off what they have as a means to their own worth, or relation to their own worth, which is not the thing. It's not a thing at all. You're valuable because what you experience, because of the empathy that you are able to gain toward your life, and how you are able to help other people and invest in your community and help your community so that everybody can benefit. What do these people usually do? They garner enough wealth, they move the fuck out of the community, they invest all that money elsewhere, not the community that made them rich, but elsewhere, where they already have a lot of things, so they invested there. And they go to stores of people who already have everything. And then it's the same thing, it's the same cycle, it's the same illogical fallacies that we keep on allowing in the name of everything being like that, and fuck everything else, I guess. We call it utopia, we call it names that are impossible sounding, or it's impossible that we could actually achieve. But utopia is just all getting along, not actually agreeing on everything. That's fine. We can discuss things and we can actually get to a middle ground that we can actually all benefit from. But these people don't think like that. They want their way, or they want to throw a tantrum and to avoid responsibility and not have any accountability at all in any of the steps of the process. Just because they can, because their grandparents or their parents' parents or whatever, the same thing. But just because they were able to exploit people or be violent to people or steal from people and garner enough to be able to call themselves, and then allow their offspring to call themselves owners of capital. But if they stole everything, if they made things that are illegal and the things that are objectively wrong, because you're impacting another experience negatively, then what are we doing? That's not the way to do it. If you did that to be able to obtain the wealth that you have, then it's not legally or soundly obtained wealth. You stole it. You cheated to be able to get it. So how does that make you successful? You're just a cheater. You're in every single second place, every single person who you left behind is going to always be better than you. And that's what fucking hurts, because you're not good enough to be able to be on the top. You have to cheat, you have to steal, you have to exploit, you have to be violent to be able to get there. And that makes you less of a man. That makes you less of a woman. It doesn't let you be not human. It doesn't let you be a human. No. It still allows you to be a human, but it's the kind of human that will be a waste of experience, that will think of things as more valuable than a human life. That's the kind of people who murder. That's the kind of people who plot to hurt somebody else. That's the kind of people that use revenge as a way to make themselves feel better when they will never be able to feel better, because they're always the second place. No matter how many trophies they get, they're always behind the guy they cheated, or the girl that they lied to, or the one that they exploited. Those are much better humans than they are, and it's hard to think of them as successful in my point of view. They're the most mediocre mentalities that I've ever gotten to get to know about and read about. It's insane that we call them successful. It's not necessary anymore. So that we can retain our humanity and are able to move past and actually enjoy our lives and be able to progress with our ideas and our abilities and the technology and the communication channels that we have right now on the internet. It's impossible that we can't be much better in fucking 10 years or less. If we just cooperate, stop the spying, stop the lying, stop letting fucking unchecked egos be in charge of our resources, our taxes, and our time, then we'll be able to get there. Otherwise, it's just going to be for nothing. We've suffered their ego for nothing. We've suffered their greed, their exploitation, their violence for nothing. Because they would have not even won, because that's what they're going to feel. But when they're alone, I don't know, then it's most of the time they're alone. For sure they're alone. Even if they're with 100 people, they only have suck-ups and people who are conveniently near them and people who fear them. That's not love, that's not respect. That's why they are like they are. They think their life sucks because they don't have love, and that's not the case at all. And I'm living proof of it. And I was able to get away from a mentality of domestic abuse and being misogynistic. And I'm neither of those things. At least not in the way that I was. I can joke about things like that, but in the very least, I'm not. I don't think of women as less than me. I don't think them as second-class citizens. I don't think them as the weaker sex. Men, they brought me to this world. That's enough for me. That's enough for me to know that it's not the case. We're not better than them, and they're not better than us. It's, again, the purpose of ego. Talked about it in other videos. Ego is useful until the point that it starts telling you that you're better than somebody else, that you're better than people who have different things that you have in your features. And I hope we can achieve that moment that that allows us to understand that we are the same thing. We're just experiences that should be enjoyed, not feared, not how you say that thing? Not fear, not like the cross you bear or something like that. I hope you can understand that life is as enjoyable as we want it to be. We just need to stop thinking that likes or that other people's expectations or that our parents, what they want from us, is more important than what we actually want for ourselves. That's when we start seeing the difference there. That's when we start seeing more sincere smiles. That's when we start seeing people helping other people because they know that they are not alone, that they are part of something more important, something bigger, something that involves everyone. Those are the people who put companies and actually pay their workers well, and actually treat them well, and actually give them fair time off so that they can actually enjoy their experiences. Those are the kind of people that put those kind of companies, but then come other fucking greedy fucks, and in the guise of profit, they end up damaging those businesses as well. So it's a never-ending story. As long as we don't send those motherfuckers away, as long as we don't pull ourselves from those kind of experiences and not deem them important and not deem them convenient, then we can actually start making progress towards something more cooperative, more positive, and more beneficial for everybody, including those greedy fuckers. We just need to help them understand that empathy is what it's about, love is what it's about, not about something that we put whatever the fuck value we want on. Because we invented money, we give it the value that it has. So I'm not sure why we're still doing that. It's unnecessary. Anyway, I don't know what the point of this video was. Hopefully it makes sense. And if you got up to this point, thank you. Hope you enjoyed your day and your head up. Goodbye.